Fall Guys and at least Phasma, I want to say, weren't done by a lot of people. I know Phasma was done by one person. And like
One
I said, the
guy
Twitch,
made
yeah,
Phasmaphobia.
yep, and the Twitch community put him on the map basically, and now that dude probably will never have to work again if he doesn't want to.
That's insane. Or he's probably gonna at least enjoy kindling this project that he
Oh,
has
oh
until
yeah,
it,
he's
it
been
tinder,
dude.
tinkers down.
And since it's just this like one dude who probably at this point actually has a dev team, I'm sure he has the money to do that, right?
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
actually so invested in making sure the community really feels like solid about Phasma, so they're constantly updating it and doing all kinds of shit that they never intended to simply because the game was successful.
Hmm. How
Yeah, it's
educated
really cool.
are you on the project? Did he make this out of some
Um,
type of like
well,
desire, or did he kind of make it for monetary gains? Not to
well, I
discredit
I
his
couldn't
accomplishment, but like I'm curious
every
if at this point he's kindling
yeah.
something that gave him financial freedom, or if he's kindling something he made out of a passion, so to speak. Does that make
So
sense?
he had to have made it out of a passion. Think about it, right? Like, so you remember I
By
made my own video
yourself,
game, right?
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I made my own video game by myself. I sat there on like YouTube, like for fucking like YouTube University for like a fucking year, just like learning how to like code on a basic level, right? When you're doing it by yourself, that's always passion. There's
You
no
have to
really
have
getting
drive
around
for
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sure.
You because it's all you from start to finish. Everything that goes down in
Mm-hmm.
the game is all you. And you only have you to blame, and everything is a representation of you. So it's like you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to like the whole reason I never put out my game was even though everybody loved it, it wasn't where I wanted it to be yet, right? So
Sure.
so that guy on the other hand had a smarter idea and was like, no, I'll just release the game unfinished beta, and then if people like it, I'll expand upon it. If they pay for it, I'll expand upon it. And boy, did they!
That's a fair kind of like size game. So I'm
Yeah,
curious
yeah.
how like is this guy a wizard, or did he invest 2 years of his
Nah,
time
dude,
on like a
Unreal
side
Engine.
hobby?
Oh, I'm not sure which like game dev like program he used, right? But it
Mm.
looked like Unreal Engine. And if it's Unreal Engine or either that or like Valve's like
It
thing,
might be something at
um,
that level.
don't,
Oh,
yeah,
for those
they
of you that don't know what we're talking about, Phasmophobia is in case we're losing you, it's
I
one of
gotcha.
the biggest Twitch trends. I can't speak. One of the biggest Twitch trends in the last probably
Yeah, yeah.
2 months or so. It is just essentially a ghost hunting game, but it's not like your normal run of the mill. It's actually very open ended. I mean, Vefy, you got a little
Yeah.
bit better of an understanding on it if you want to try
So
explaining
yeah,
it, but
basically,
it's groundbreaking.
yeah, long story short, Phasma, and by the way, Phasma was done in Unity, which yeah, Unity is a very user friendly. So like that, it's completely possible that he made this all by himself, like very, very for sure. But Phasma, basically in a nutshell, is if you guys have ever seen Ghost Hunters,
Mm-hmm.
it's Ghost Hunters if the ghosts were real. So you're going into these like locations, like an asylum, a prison, a house or whatever, and you're messing with ghosts. You're antagonizing them to try to get responses, so you can figure out what type of ghost is hunting the area and then cash in on it. Once you know what it is, you report it, and if it kills you before you can get out and report it, then you just lose all your investment into the game. So it's like this ever, and like it just keeps going. The replay value is like, oh, on to the next map, on to the next money, on to the next this or that. So yeah, it's a pretty good game.
So I think it was very impressive to me, let alone the Ghost Junkies. So the context behind that, I'm not really like a huge, never really been into
Hmm.
ghosts. I've always been around people that have been really into like just like I have one of my best friends is insanely into like ghost stuff, and I remember playing Halo 3 and we were watching some YouTube. This is probably like 2009, man. I was hanging out with
Yeah.
two of my friends and they were watching some YouTube ghost stuff, and they were like, dude, like we should go find some ghosts. And it's like 11 o'clock at night, dude. And they take my digital camera and they go down in the basement and start taking pictures on flash with the lights out. And I'm like, nah, it's cool, guys. I'm just gonna play Halo 3. Like I
They're the
just don't
first to die
care.
in scary movies, by the
Yeah,
way.
like I don't think they're down there, And I've always like taken ghost stuff to that kind of like interest.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of stuff where it's like maybe that actually might have been a ghost, or like maybe they just something squeaked, or some homie
Right,
upstairs
right.
threw a basketball and you just never find them. Like I've never gotten
Yeah,
completely
here's what I'll
invested
say on
into it.
that. Yeah, here's what I'll say on that. I take a
I
very
think ghosts are
agnostic. Oh,
real,
go ahead.
but
Uh-huh.
I'm not super attracted to the whole ghost hunting thing.
Yeah, so I take the agnostic approach on all of that, right? I think it's like asinine for either side to assume like obviously there's going to be the anecdotal evidence crowd that's like, "Oh, I've had my own experience." Cool, that's you, right? But like a lot of people also haven't, and you have to respect their anecdotal experience, right? So for me, like I haven't, right? So but I take an agnostic approach in that I basically am like if it's it could, like, all of this shit could be a thing, but it could also very well not be. So I'm not gonna like break my brain trying to figure this out. Like, if ghosts want me to know they exist, they will let me know. If they don't, they won't. It's that simple. I'm not gonna sit here and with papers on the wall, like, conspiratorially trying to figure out like whether my
Yeah,
dead grandma is like talking to me or not. Like, it's like,
sure.
make it clear or nothing. A little squeak of the chair is not gonna make me think grandma's back, right? I'm gonna need you to talk to me. Like,
Do you have an experience with a Ouija board or any of that stuff?
no, I never fucked with Ouija boards because I grew up in a cult, so I never
Oh,
got that
so
like
I got
experience.
away from the concept. The reason why I brought up my opinions on ghosts is
Uh
because
huh.
I'm not immediately attracted to anything ghost or paranormal related. But
Yeah, yeah.
when Vefy convinced me to go play this game, the immersion of the game and the actual
Oh
fact that like
boy.
they actually get you to be scared, like you start
Yeah.
getting on edge, and it's weird because everything ghosts story related, like you have no skin in the game. Like if it
Yep.
scares you or like a scary movie, you can walk away. And then when you
Yeah.
play this game, you're like, I still don't have any skin in the game, dude. I paid $15 for it. But like I think what helps is like if you're actually the investor, you go in
Yeah.
there and like you're
Yep.
actually scared to get cut by this
Yeah.
ghost, because boom, like then you're a lost investment. So I think
Yep.
somehow that tribally, like everybody that goes in is
That
like
combo
trying
of
to
like
succeed.
investment plus ghost plus like, yeah, it's just there's so many things
The
like
money
that go
means
into it.
nothing really, except for maybe the time and effort that it took for you to create that capital.
Well,
And then so you go in
you can
here and
buy
it's
stuff with
like,
the
dude,
capital.
lights flicker and like you actually get scared, dude. Like it gets
Yeah.
you.
No, for sure. I think it's the one time, and I've always told people this, like I play it in VR, but like, obviously keyboard and mouse is just as scary. And I literally say, like, I promise you, whatever you think from watching it, like however non-scary you think it is from watching it, like play it yourself and just see. Put on some nice
Mm-hmm.
headphones, get in and immerse and see. It very rarely doesn't hit with people. I mean, I think that's why it's so successful. It's just finally someone came along and did it right.
Yep.
That's
Someone
it's that
pulled it
simple.
off. Now
Yeah,
the
and a
survival
co-op game
horror
at that.
franchise has some gems that like will
Yeah.
scare you.
Oh,
You know,
for
Dead
sure.
Space and
We're
stuff.
talking about
And
multiplayer horror, not single player. Because single player horror
yeah,
is different. There are gyms all over the place because you're by
multiplayer
yourself.
horror has never been executed to the
It's
level
so
that
hard.
Phasmaphobia has.
Yeah, yeah. It's so hard to
Never.
have four people in the same area feel scared at the same time. That's such a hard thing to recreate.
Very.
Normally,
I
yeah,
mean,
normally
I
that in itself calms your fears, but Phasma does not care.